I hope you enjoy this episode of the Freediving Journal. Consider supporting the Freediving Journal and the Freedive Cafe podcasts by joining Patreon. For the cost of a cup of coffee a month, you can get access to extended episodes, uncut interviews, exclusive episodes, early releases, video versions, and discounts on freediving courses, workshops, and coaching from myself. Check it out at patreon.com/freedivecafe and dive safe. Welcome to the Freediving Journal, Episode 5, the News Dispatch for May 2022. My name is Donny. I'm a freediving athlete, coach, and educator, and the host of the Freediving Journal and the Freedive Cafe podcasts. Everything I do can be found at freediveandthrive.com. The Freediving Journal podcast is the ultimate source of knowledge and entertainment for the breath-hold divers of the world. Join my guests and myself for deep dives into freediving technique, science, and lifestyle. Enjoy monthly news dispatches from the freediving universe. Get together for entertaining live streams with elite freedivers and breath-hold beginners alike. You can find the Freediving Journal at freediveandthrive.com/journal. And of course, it can also be found on all good podcast players. Today's episode is the News Dispatch for May with our special reporter Jordy Duncan over in Brisbane, Australia. Before we get to that, just a very quick update on a few things about housekeeping. The latest episode of the Freedive Cafe podcast was episode 132. That featured Guillaume Nery. That was incredible. A true Freedive Cafe classic. Check it out at freedivecafe.com. Next up in the Freedive Cafe will be Rami Bloodlove, Swedish static apnea king. The next episode of this podcast, the Freediving Journal, will be our second deep dive episode, this time on the subject of pre-dive breathing or breathe-ups, and I have been helped in that by William Trubridge, Mirela Kardasovic, Thibaut Guignez, Tom Peled, Alessia Zecchini, Rami Bloodlove, Miguel Lozano, and Walid Boudiaf. No, I'm not joking. You heard that right. It's going to be absolutely epic. The next Freediverology live stream get-together hurrah will take place next week on Wednesday, the 8th of June at 10 a.m. GMT or 6 p.m. Taiwan Bali time. This time, I will be joined by world-famous coach Julia Mose, who's standing in for Sheena McNally this month because Sheena's just being lazy, training as an elite freediver at the world's biggest freediving competition. So, but you can never go wrong with Julia. If you are a Patreon supporter and you want to join us in the live stream and ask us questions and have a bit of a laugh and a bit of banter, send me a message and let me know. Otherwise, we hope that many people will join us on YouTube live, and you can also comment and ask questions in the chat. Hope to see you there. Over on the Freedive and Thrive YouTube channel, I just released a new video, a 30-minute advanced stretching and equalization routine, which the text editor has changed to Toupee. Cool. Check it out and please leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. That's Freedive and Thrive. Talking of Patreon, and if you want to support what I do with the podcast and YouTube channel, you can sign up for that at patreon.com/freedivecafe. And special thanks to new patrons Brandon Matthews, Rami Bloodlove, Andrew P, and Andrea Giayer. Thanks a million and big love. What else? This time next week, I will be flying off to Dahab, where I will be spending 3 months training and teaching courses and competing. There are still many places left for the courses I'm doing. I'm doing a beginner's course, a level 2, and a master's. I'll also be available for coaching and guidance. If you want guidance about your life and how to live your life, don't ask me because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I can freedive a little bit, so I'll help you with that. If you want to learn freediving from me, get in touch and let me know. The best way is to email Donny at freediveandthrive.com. If you have news, if you have gossip, if you want to shout out a friend, if you have anything you want to share with us, don't be shy. Send an email to news@freediveandthrive or Donny@freediveandthrive. Okay, I could say a lot more, but this is a long one again today, so let's get over there to the newsroom to hear from Jordy and all the exciting bits and pieces she's gathered for us this month. Let's dive. All right, Jordy, let's get going. Let's get rolling. I should have had an extra coffee. I was just thinking, like, if I have a coffee now, I'm going to be too jacked. But I could do with the little buzz on for the interview.
Are you still on your no drinking until 100 meters?
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm having one for you. And also, today I've had 2 coffees, and it's the first time since December 2020 that I've had 2 coffees. So I'll probably not sleep tonight.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry you're missing Top Gun too.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have heard that you're sacrificing Top Gun for.
I told Christian. Yeah, he understands. He loves the podcast.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it myself, but I want to wait until I can get like a high definition version and then watch it in my VR headset inside like a cinema in VR.
Yeah.
So yeah, saving myself. Okay, so let's get started on today's content then. The Freediving Journal News Dispatch. This is episode 3. And you can take it away. Let's get started with the notes here.
So this month we will be sharing a new product launch, pretty exciting new product launch. Also talking about a proposal for a union of freediving athletes, UFA, to catch out doping in freediving. So that was a hot topic last month. And we will also be talking about the Freediving World Cup and Caribbean Cup results and highlights/lowlights.
News. What is news?
Okay. So last month we were talking about octopus freediving, raising money for Ukraine, and they had these pulley systems created in Ukraine colours, yellow and blue. And all 100% of sales from those pulley systems was to be donated to Ukrainian Red Cross Society. So I spoke to Pascal it was probably close to a week ago now, but he said they'd sold 32 pulley systems. So that's 1,600 euros, which will be going to Ukrainian Red Cross Society, which is awesome. And he said he's planning to do another fundraiser for Ukraine soon with nose clips. So I'll let our listeners know when those are available to purchase. I'd actually like to get one for myself.
Yeah, those I love those nose clips. I love the octopus nose clips. I'll definitely get a yellow and blue one, and then I'll do what I usually do, which is cut the ends off some scuba gloves and then glue them on the end so it sticks to my nose properly and make them look ridiculous but really comfortable at the same time. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll keep you up to date on that with a link when it comes up, of course.
Yeah.
And then, are we going to talk about the Taiwan Freediving Community Protest Group update stuff now?
Yep, let's do it.
You know, from the Taiwan end, we are working very diligently to raise awareness among the members of IDA, the freediving organization. IDA International is composed of an assembly of nationals, and I'm trying to raise the awareness among the nationals that we would like them to support a vote to change the decisions or reverse the decisions 99% of people out there think are absolutely shameful and ridiculous. Basically removing Taiwan as a country, as an option for an identity for the athletes, for the freediving instructors, for the tens, if not more than 100 freediving instructors here. So that's something that we're working on, right? So that's going on behind the scenes, and more will be coming on that in the future. But unfortunately, this week, again, we have another major upset on this topic. And unfortunately, it also happened during the Caribbean Cup. So during the first ever event of the Freediving World Series 2. So it's really not a great way to start. basically what happened is at this competition we have two Taiwanese athletes. They're a couple. There's the guy Xiaoming. We usually call him Xiaoming here in Taiwan, and Linlan, his girlfriend. Um, Both very, very long time in the freediving community, very, very many national records between them. Both of them are really old school here in Taiwan, actually, especially Xiaoming. He's probably been freediving here for more than 10 years. So I spoke to them yesterday from their place in Honduras. We had a little call, and a special thanks to Yan Wei Xuan, who helped to interpret some of the details of that. But basically what happened is the originally on the start list for the first day of the competition, Taiwan was listed as the nationality for these athletes. Unfortunately, they spelled Taiwan wrong, and also I think they spelled Xiaoming's name wrong. But at least Taiwan was there, so they didn't complain about that too much. And then so everything was right except for these spelling mistakes, and they confirmed the start list around 8 p.m. And then they went to bed for the night before the first day of the competition. At some point in the middle of the night, Xiaoming checked the announcements and found that the judge, Ida judge, Sava, had posted another start list which had been changed, and now the name had been changed from Taiwan into Chinese Taipei, Taiwan. So both Xiaoming and Linlan were quite shocked and angry about this, and of course, because they are Taiwanese and that's their country and that's who they want to compete for, they made a hard and difficult decision to announce DNS, a no-show. They were announcing that they were not going to compete in this competition. And imagine how difficult that must be when you've traveled halfway around the world, you've spent thousands of dollars to go and train in Roatan for months, and you've already been there for months training.
Yeah.
And now it comes to this.
Yeah.
But they decided to do this as Taiwanese athletes to protest this action.
Donny, they actually they commented on that the post or the bulletin board and said, "We are Taiwan, not Chinese Taipei, Taiwan. Thank you."
Yeah. So they vocalized it very clearly in the group. I think it's like a WhatsApp group or whatever. Yeah. So they missed the first day of the competition. The organizer of the competition, who is Esteban Darharpe, he runs Roatan Freediving School and Training Center. According to Xiaoming and Linlan, Esteban was really trying to encourage them to join the competition, and they wanted to say thanks to him for his for the way that he acted in this situation, because he was basically saying, "Look, if Ida has a problem with it, tell him to come to me. We'll put Taiwan on the start list." So there was a meeting between the athletes, between the organizer Esteban, and between the head judge, the Ida judge, Sava Savas, at the competition. Sava, the judge, told them that the athletes had a decision. They could compete with a blank name, so no name on the start list, and keep their rankings in Ida, or they could choose to compete with the name of Taiwan, but they wouldn't get rankings in Ida. So then Linlan also asked Sava to write this information down on paper, but he refused. All right. I also contacted Sava and I asked him to comment on this issue. All he replied to me was, "I'm here as the judge for the rules of competition, not for any political talks around this. You can contact the IDA board," which is one of the typical answers that I get when people in IDA don't want to talk about anything. They'll just direct me to the board, which of course is composed of, many, many people. Immediately after I had this chat with the athletes, I was also scheduled to have a chat with Alexandre Russo, the president of IDA, just to kind of I'm trying to be transparent with him and open about the fact that, well, it was actually coincidentally just the way the timing worked out. But since I had him on the call there, I just asked him, what happened here with this thing in Roatan. He basically said he didn't know what was going on, but he also admitted that he had a call Sava, and he told me, I'm just going to make this super simple. Alex, the president of IDA, told me that in these competitions, the athletes can choose any name that they want on the start list, right? So when I go to my competition in August to Egypt, I'm going to choose Scotland. Maybe I'm going to choose Middle Earth. Maybe I'm going to choose Coronation Street. Who knows? But I'm really excited about getting the opportunity to choose any name that I want. And he said, and he said, as long as like they use on the IDA website when they're registering for the competition or whatever, they use this bullshit name Chinese Taipei, then it's not going to affect their rankings. But what you can see here is basically somebody tried to get the name changed. And whether that came from the judge himself or whether it came from somebody else, we don't know. But somebody tried to do that, even though there was actually no need to do that, according to the president of IDA. So somebody was messing around there and caused, again, not only the pain and the upset for the Taiwanese athletes, but all of us back here in Taiwan who are watching the competition and supporting the athletes. And it was only when I checked up on your notes today, Jordy, like just half an hour ago, that you had put the stuff in from the national news, because I never saw that. So this issue again has made the national news here in Taiwan, and the who is it? The government here, basically a representative of the government here, has been slamming IDA for this, name change thing. So, I mean, this is the first event in the World Series. It's the competition was full of problems, and we'll come back to that later when we discuss the competition results. But there was a whole bunch of other stuff going on in that competition, and it just does not look good. Like, if you are gonna have a World Series and IDA's gonna be the ratifying body, and you want to make this this is going to be getting freediving off to an amazing place in the future, you need to sort this shit out. You can't have the judge not knowing, and the organizer doesn't know this, and the president doesn't know this, and nobody really knows what's going on. I mean, you got to sort your shit out. So that was an unfortunate situation. Again, another situation like this for Taiwan. At the same time, in the last week, not because of what happened in the competition, but because IDA Taiwan, the representatives of IDA Taiwan, have to clarify their position here, because this whole idea of using the name Chinese Taipei came about through a misunderstanding between conversations between the president, Alexandre Russo, and a representative of IDA Taiwan. Now, that was unfortunate the way things went down. Eventually, that name change was made and officialized without actually IDA Taiwan also knowing about it. So ultimately, it comes down to mismanagement in IDA International. But the new official statement from, and I'm going to read it, the new official statement from IDA Taiwan reads, "From the viewpoint of IDA Taiwan, it is clear that athletes and IDA freediving instructors from Taiwan would rather be recognized as coming from Taiwan. The name Chinese Taipei, Taiwan, is not a satisfactory compromise, and we do not support it. Therefore, IDA Taiwan supports the decision of athletes at the Caribbean Cup in Honduras to DNS and decides to stand united with our freedivers, instructors, coaches, and athletes, and we officially state that our nationality must be restored to Taiwan and our national flag must be used for the Taiwanese athletes in freediving competitions. We have already discussed this with IDA International several times, but admittedly we didn't deal with this problem well at the time, and now this matter has seriously affected the rights and interests of our athletes. To this end, we invite the IDA Assembly members to join with us and support us in demanding a special vote to reverse the undemocratic decision-making of the IDA International leadership and return Taiwan to its original status with regards to identity and flag. We demand that every athlete may participate in freediving competitions without being treated unfairly and without being influenced by oppressive external forces. We believe it's very important for the continued progress and development of freediving as a sport. Please stand with Taiwan and its freedom." This is now the official position of IDA Taiwan. And I believe, and the athletes believe, and I believe most of the instructors believe, we all stand behind this statement. And this is what I'm helping them to work on as merely a communication liaison, let's say, is to get the rest of the assembly members to get behind this statement and force IDA to have a vote. They did not vote to remove Taiwan. You can't do that. That's not how it works. No matter how much of your business is located in China. So that was that situation. Obviously, watch this space. I know that for some people out there who are not close to this topic, it might seem boring or not that interesting or whatever. They much rather hear something about Russia and Ukraine. We all know that. But that's the hot topic politically in freediving right now. I wish it wasn't there, but it is. Of course, we'll come back to this when we talk about the competition itself, but Xiaoming and Linlan did very well in the competition. I think they got like 4 national records among them. So congratulations to them, 4 records for the nation of Taiwan. It's a little bit worrying considering that the World Championships is also supposed to come to the exact same location. And I mean, it's just not looking like we're off to a good start here. Moving on. Or do you have anything you want to add to that topic?
No, I love that statement by Ada Taiwan. I just think those first 2 paragraphs, boom.
Moving on, we also have another a topic that is pretty it's serious. Especially following on from the recent little fizzle with Matt Molina and the document that he released addressing the doping scandal that he was involved in, and other athletes too. What can you tell us about this, Jordy?
Yeah, so basically, I think largely coming out of that article that Matt Molina wrote, speculation is increasing about the increased use of PEDs, performing enhancing drugs, within freediving. So Will Trubridge, he has come up with this proposal for a decentralized autonomous organization, DAO, to be created that any active freediving athlete can join for an annual registration fee. So this hasn't been set up yet, but he's calling it the UFA, Union of Freediving Athletes. So the UFA would affiliate with WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, and could request and pay for WADA for a doping control officer from WADA to implement a test on a member under the Union of Freediving Athletes in any of the WADA member states. So basically this the UFA, what Will wants to happen is for a system to be set up that would allow for 2 ways that a freediving athlete can be referred to WADA for doping control. So this could either be a random drug test or nominated testing, which would be, it would mean that another member under the UFA would nominate someone and pay for another athlete to be tested if they suspect that they are doping. And then if the nominated athlete tests positive for a performance-enhancing drug, the nominator's payment will be refunded in full. And so under this system, the nominator's name would be kept confidential. And the system, Will's also saying the system would involve checks so that one athlete can't be tested, multiple times within a certain period, for example, 2 weeks. So it's pretty exciting. And I did email Will a couple of weeks ago to ask, how it's all going and where it's at, what are the next steps. So he said at the moment, for this to go forward, they're looking for people with specific skill sets who will be able to manage this UFA project and implement the system. So a website and database will need to be created with processing algorithms for managing the doping test requests. And also they'll need someone to be the liaison with the WADA to set up the protocols for the execution of these doping requests. So that's not going to be Will. He's just, kind of overseeing this project. But yeah, basically this is a call out for any freedivers or who feel passionate about this project and who have those specific skill sets, website and database creation, algorithms, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's great. I do think the proposal is great. I do have a few questions about it though. Right now, let's look at two situations here. Right, on the one hand, we could say like, all of a sudden, everyone thinks a whole bunch of people are doping in freediving because of what happened with Matt Molina, even though Matt didn't dope in any Cmas or IDA freediving competitions. So, a lot of people are all of a sudden thinking, like, everyone's doping now, everyone's doping's such a big thing in freediving. I have not received any evidence that anyone's doping anywhere. I've received some anecdotes about people doping, but I honestly think they're nothing more than anecdotes. So on the one hand, yeah, maybe a whole bunch of people are doping and freediving, and then this organization would be great because then we can do something about that. But then on the other hand, maybe our fears about widespread rampant doping and freediving are unfounded, and setting up this organization and bringing in people to build websites and be liaisons with WADA and everything like that is going to be, a very well-meaning project, but actually you're not going to have anyone to test, or you're not going to get any positive results because maybe no one's stopping in freediving. I think that's a possibility. But then on the other hand, I think also that what Will is looking for here, the creation of the website and the database and the liaising with WADA, this is going to require people who are going to be willing to volunteer their time and do a really good job on this. And you can see that, Ida can barely get out of the bed in the morning and remember where its pants are. So is this going to be something that's really viable for the freediving community? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think there's still a lot of things that need to be ironed out with this concept or project. I think I don't know. I kind of agree with you that maybe, I guess the definition of doping, like, I think there's probably a lot of people who are using substances that might enhance their performance, but they're not on a list. They're not on a prohibited substance list. So
yeah,
that's not going to come up in a test.
Yeah, that's another issue, is that the drugs which would be most useful to free divers, like benzodiazepines, Valium, Xanax, or dextromethorphan, drugs that replicate opiates and things like that, would be useful but might not necessarily show up on the list. And that's when you associate with an organization like WADA, then you're going to have to follow their lists and systems and things like that. So it's a just very, very complicated issue. You can see how complicated it is in sport already, in cycling, in gymnastics, in even in MMA, or even CrossFit. It's like it's always such a big issue. But like Jordy was saying, in case I spoke over this point, but Will is on the lookout. He's calling out for people who think they might be able to help with this UFA project. So if anyone is listening and they want to get involved, they can get in touch with us first at news@freediveandthrive.com, or I'm sure they can contact Will directly, but we'll make sure the message will get to him if you contact us. Okay, what's next?
Cool. So next we've got some highlights from Deep Week in Thailand. So this Deep Week was held from the 14th to the 21st of May in Phuket, Thailand, organised by Adam Stern and Alexei Molchanov. Thibaut, and I also heard Ant Williams was over there as well. So Thibaut, Alexei and Adam were all instructors. They had 163 participants from 35 plus countries join this Deep Week event. So there was 100 plus students and approximately 50 instructors. This is a massive
It's a huge operation. Yeah. 6 boats. Yeah.
6 boats, 6 boys on each boat. I've got to give a shout out to one of my training or fellow club members, Rye, who he went to Deep Week. I think it was the best week of his life. He's given me some of these highlights. So he said 20 to 30 meter viz, 30-degree water. He said they ran Molchanov's wave courses from 1 to 4, and it was actually the first time that they ran this Wave 4 course, and the Wave 4 course is a competition-focused certification, so think like 40-plus metre depth dives. The company that provided the boats and infrastructure for Deep Week in Thailand, 5-Star Marine, said that it was a really important boost for the economic recovery of Phuket coming out of COVID. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, that's really good. That's absolutely amazing. And yeah, I mean, I really hope the freediving industry can pick up and recover and go to newer, greater heights. And I hope that the rest of the world can get its shit together and everyone can be happy and live in peace and love and harmony. Yeah, and then there were a couple of little news pieces here that I just wanted to pull up because I think it's, might be just useful to remind everybody. I did find this article from the Canary Islands news website about a triathlete that died while practicing, by this account, by practicing static apnea in the pool by himself. So this was in a place called, actually, I don't even think I can handle that name. Arginegin, maybe. And so apparently this was a well-respected ultra-distance triathlete, Suso Munoz Jimenez, 58 years old. And they said that he died after a suspected fainting spell. Fainting spell, yeah. So
yeah.
I'm not sure what they mean there, but basically said that the lifeguards saw him floating face down in the impression I get is they knew he was doing this like breath holding in the water, but then they decided, he's been floating face down in the water for too long. And then they realized that actually he was dead. He was unconscious, and they tried to help him, but he had a heart attack. He had cardiac arrest. And they were unable to resuscitate him. So there you go. Well-respected, high-level athlete there who tragically perished practicing breath holding in a pool. This happens very often. Patrick Musumu, one of the greatest freedivers, modern freediving legend, early modern freediving legend, died in his own pool. We had a German athlete die in the lake diving by himself a couple of years ago. It happens really often. It's doesn't have to happen at all. So please, guys, never dive alone. A lifeguard in the pool is not a substitute for a buddy who's standing right next to you and doing safety checks and things like that, who knows how to rescue you or support you in the case of an LMC or a blackout. There's no substitute for somebody standing right next to you. And then the other little bit of news there was just about, you know more about the competition dates and stuff, but what was IDA going for here with the World Championships, Depth World Championships? The dates that they chose have not been taken very well.
No, so they have decided, they did a vote. They had a vote, and it was between some August dates and some September dates. And I can't remember which way it was, but one of the sets of dates was going to be cheaper than the other. Anyway.
Cheaper, I think, just to clarify, I think cheaper for the athletes. For
the athletes. Yeah. So the outcome from the vote, they've gone with the 15th to the 25th of August. And August is just a crazy busy month for depth competitions, and like Vertical Blue starts on the 1st of August. And so there's not much time between the end of Vertical Blue and the start of this one. And I think a few people. Will Trubridge got interviewed about it.
Yeah, I can just quote Will here from the Deeper Blue website. I read about this on Deeper Blue, and I have it here. He said, announcing dates 3 months out and announcing a start for the World Championship that's 96 hours after the close of the biggest event. So Vertical Blue is the biggest competition in the world. We know this. And this World Championships is scheduled to start 4 days after it finishes. It's completely ridiculous, but they were asking for IDA to say what was going on with the depth championship for weeks and weeks, and nobody said anything. Nobody got back to the months even. And it's just another sign that the organization within IDA, especially in the top levels and the leadership kind of level, is erratic and not really fit for purpose, in my humble opinion. And I'm a dumbass, so what do I know?
But so they've interviewed another freediver saying that many of the athletes that participate in events like this are also instructors, and they need to earn money so they can afford to attend events like this. So, having them so close together and such short notice is just, it's hard for these athletes to be able to just drop things and go to them.
Yeah, for sure. I see you have, I can only take so much of IDA issues for one day. So let's move on to the next topic, and we'll update you with more next month. You had a note here about my freediving courses and workshops in Dahab. I'm not going to say too much about that. Still got lots of places. All those courses are taking place in July. If you want to learn freediving or continue your freediving education with me, then send a message to Donny at freedivingthrive.com. And let's moving on to products.
So new products, really exciting product launch this month from Orca. So they wrapped up, not selling, but they wrapped up their previous line of freediving wetsuits about 2 months ago. They started a sale, selling them for a discount, not making them anymore. And then, boom, Monday, 23rd of May, they released their new freedive line, which is 2 different wetsuits. You've renamed them.
I've renamed them and given them better names.
So there's there's the Orca Zen model freediving wetsuit, which Donny has called the Orca Spaghetti. So it's got beautiful silver spaghetti sleeves. So this is their high performance wetsuit. It's designed to minimize water resistance for performance and competition. And it uses really highly elastic materials, which allow the wetsuit it really molds to your body and flexes with you. It literally feels like it's part of your skin. I'm very lucky
because you actually
have been
worn
given
this,
one of these.
Mm.
I know. Yes, it's my favorite wetsuit to date. I love it. And even though it's 2 mil all over, which I would normally wear 1 mil for competitions, but it's just super, super comfortable and smooth. And so, I'll probably wear that for competitions, but I'll be requesting that they come out with a 1 mil competition wetsuit. So it's super flexy, really easy to get your arms in streamline. It's not open cell, so it's Yamamoto 39 cell. So it's easier to get on than open cell, but then once it's on, it sticks to your body and doesn't move. It doesn't let water in. It's got the extra, what do you call the material that goes over your head around your neck
to seal the neck in? Yeah, that's a nice feature. Yeah. So I found I basically no water getting in, which is awesome. So that's the high-end performance wetsuit. And then the second model wetsuit is the Orca Mantra, which Donny has called the Petri dish.
Yeah. Why? I don't understand.
Because it looks like when you look at like little bacteria under a microscope, you get those little like little wormy things crawling around. Like
Yeah.
that's what it looks like to me. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's beautiful, the design on the sleeves of this Orca Mancha model. It's like vibrant kind of a deep aqua maybe color and black. And yeah, it's so nice and vibrant. Would be really nice for underwater photos, I reckon. But this is their more durable wetsuit. It's made of more durable material on the arms and also some of the panels on the legs. So I think this would be a great training wetsuit. I'm not sure of the price difference, but I would imagine that the Orca Mancha will be a bit cheaper than the Orca Zen. But yeah, so Donny, they're sending you a Zen model, yes?
Yeah, they're sending me a spaghetti model. I think it's on its way, so I'm looking forward to. I mean, I do joke about it, but to be honest, I'm really looking forward to getting this suit because I did have one of the Orca Breathes, so that was the previous line's training wetsuit, which I loved. Like, there's something about Orca because they have such a high level of quality from their. They're almost kind of like the Apple of like wetsuit manufacturers or something. Like they have this like very nice professional design. Like everything is just right, and they even give you the little like special white gloves so you can put like a butler's gloves so that you can put your wetsuit on and not tear the neoprene. And I love that suit. So I'm getting one for review, and I'll be completely honest about how the suit is. And if it's a piece of crap, I'll let you know. But if it's anything like the last one, then I'm looking forward to using it for no fins. That's what it is. Like I like a wetsuit with a hood and a 2-piece wetsuit for free immersion, but for no fins, I'm looking forward to having that kind of suit again because it's just so much more freeing than having a 2-piece wetsuit with a hood.
Yeah.
So yeah, really looking forward to getting that. What else do we have? We got another wetsuit as well, right?
Yeah, another launch from Fourth Element. So their RF2, developed for freedivers to enjoy maximum freedom and ultimate warmth.
All right, and Molchanels, they also have a whole bunch of fantastic, beautiful, sparkly, lovely new monofins and bifins coming, right?
Yeah, so they dropped a teaser this week or last week, early this week, I think. They've got new monofins and bifins coming. Don't know when, but I think they had to do this, Chetna kind of has taken a lot of the market, so Molchanov had to come back with something. So yeah, basically just waiting for some launch dates.
All right, cool. Yeah, let's see if they'll send us anything.
Yeah, it looks like they've got a few different models of monofins. Like maybe one's a training monofin, and then I think they're bringing out a carbon monofin again for competition, obviously. So yeah, interesting. They're always on the cutting edge. They're always trying new things. The only other thing is, so we mentioned last episode or the first episode even that Atmos was going to send you the new Mission 2 dive computer. So
yes.
So
Finn is. I spoke to Finn today. He's
cool.
going to send it out. He said on the 31st, so that's
awesome.
In a couple of days. So hopefully, and I also found out that my new Elios wetsuit has been posted out. So I'm going to have the Elios wetsuit, the Orca wetsuit, and the new Atmos computer all to test in Dahab. So that's going to be major project, especially for the first like 3 and 4 weeks. There is making those. I'm trying to make really nice video reviews.
You're going to be busy.
Okay, now on to results from competitions.
So we've got a good mix of depth and pool competition results for May. We will start with the ADA Polish Freediving Pool Championships. We mentioned them at the end of last month. They started at the end of April, but as we recorded beforehand, we couldn't cover it. So they ran from the 30th of April to the 2nd of May. 40 athletes, 28 male, 12 female. Countries represented were Poland, Turkey, Bulgaria, and Ukraine. There were a couple
so only 4 nationalities there.
Yeah, yep. Taylor and Olga broke 2 Turkish national records, one in bifins, 100 meters, and one in monofin, 200 meters. That's awesome. Then we had Matt Molina with the hat trick. So he did 250 meters for monofin, bifins, and no fins. And so that actually, crazy, hey? Like,
he just did 250 for all 3 disciplines.
250 for all 3, yeah. And so he broke the AIDA world record for DNF. So yeah, that was first world record. And then Julia Kozerska from Poland, she broke the AIDA DNF world record with a 202-meter dive. 202 meters for DNF, no fins. And then an hour later, Magdalena Solich-Slander broke the DNF record again, or as well, with a 207-meter dive. Like, I can't fathom doing that far with no fins.
Yeah, what I can't fathom is that we've been doing this for 3 months now, and it's just like world record.
The numbers,
world
I know.
Record.
I know.
And the numbers at this point. And also now we're coming to the depth competitions as well. Like the amount of national records and continental records and everything from the last month has been shocking. Yeah, the amount of new 100-meter divers in depth.
I know.
It's insane too.
Yeah. I think probably over COVID, people were still training, maybe not as traditionally as they would have previously, like not necessarily in the pool so much, but everyone was still training but didn't have so many opportunities to compete. And now there's these more regular international competitions and people are progressing. So at Polish Champs also, Magdalena broke the bifins world record, 243 meters. So it's so exciting. I know I keep saying it, but pool world champs next month. I think all world records for both male and female are there for the taking.
So just a little interjection here. We missed a competition here in Taiwan. There was a huge one here and the results didn't get up in time, so we missed that. Sorry, but it was a big one. So that was the AIDA Floral Spring Cup. My own coachee, the lovely Mia Ho, got herself another national record with a 139 meters bifins dive, which she shared with Xin Yingxie. And one of the fellas, Yue Xiangsu, got a huge 235-meter dynamic bifins national record. So 3 national records there. Apologies to the last guy and girl there. I didn't get the Chinese characters, so I don't know exact tones on the pronunciation. But well done in any case. Okay, let's head back. And then we had another competition in Brisbane. Yep,
another comp in Brisbane. So actually my club, I'm on our committee, Brisbane Freedivers Club. We're trying to run bi-monthly competitions because sort of prior to this year, there's still no comp schedule, but we're trying to have these regular comps so people are always training for something and they can plan their training knowing what disciplines competitions are coming up. So this competition, it was really cool. We held it for the first time at a different pool. We're trying to build relationships with different pools in Brisbane. I guess, like we were talking about earlier, people dying from training, particularly statics or breath holding training on their own in pools. So in the past year in Queensland, which is the state that I live in, there's been a couple of deaths from freediving. We're, trying to build the relationships with the pools and show them that we've got safety plans, risk assessments and insurance to train and run these competitions. So we held it at this competition outdoor pool because the weather was still warm at that time. We had 5 different clubs representing 6 different countries. So Colombia, Venezuela, Switzerland, Hong Kong, Hungary, and obviously Australia. And there were multiple national records broken at this comp. The comp was called the AIDA BFC Dynamic Mini Comp. So Alejandro Guedes rebroke his Venezuelan bifins national record from a couple of weeks ago in 185 meters. Go Ale! And Ben Eckert broke the men's dynamic monofin record with a 223-meter dive. And the exciting thing about this national record is that it's the first time the record's been broken outright since 2012. So prior to Ben doing this 223-meter dive, it was actually a three-way tie between three guys at 218 meters.
So that's a 10-year standing record. That's pretty impressive.
We've got a couple of really long-standing records in Australia.
They're Australians. That's Australians, yeah?
Australian record. So I think Tank Sade was the first of the three guys that broke that record. I think he lives in the States, and he was an actor, something like that. So, and then Jordy Fisher, who currently still holds the women's static record since about 2011 or 12. She doesn't freedive anymore. I think, unfortunately, she got an injury, a tear or something. So that's really sad. So she's held that static record for a long time, and also the men's static record held by Walter Stein since 2011 as well. He's still around. He's still, I think he's still freediving maybe, but not competitively. But yeah, he's still got the static record, and then I think he's got one or two depth records as well.
Yeah, I think he might have been your first 100-meter fella, Walter.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't quote me on that.
Cool. So moving on, we then have, so I've got a couple of Cmas competitions this month as well, which is exciting because they're a lot harder to get the results for. So if anyone's listening, send us your Cmas competition results because we want to share.
I was just talking to Rami about this. How the hell do you find out the results for Cmas competitions? You go to this website and it's super confusing and doesn't take you anywhere.
Yeah. It's very difficult. I've been talking to Tolis, president of Cmas, and even sometimes he struggles to get the results. He has to contact the competition organisers for each comp. But if you know, I try to follow, everyone. So if I see someone's posted that they did a dive, I'll then try and look into it. Or I asked Tolis for some results, and obviously my coach Samo Jurenko, he's Slovenian, so I was able to get the lowdown on this open Slovenian national champs. The thing about Cmas is that they have the normal category of world records, and then they also have an option for masters. So they've got this 50 to 54, 55 to 59 kind of, in those chunks, and then they've also got a 70 plus category as well, I believe. So at this Slovenian national, so they had the regular category, and then they had the masters as well. And Luke Crisper broke two Cmas Masters world records in the 55 to 59 age category. He did 131 meter dive for DNF, and then 156 meter dive for bifins. So well done, Luke. And then we have Alan Pavlik, who broke the Cmas Masters world record in the 55 to 59 category for statics. He did 7 minutes, 31 seconds. Pretty impressive.
That, thing that we were discussing there about having the different age categories in Cmas, I'd love to hear what you guys think out there. Like, do you think that it is a good idea? Do you like the idea of having different age categories? Because I just don't know. Like, I can 100% understand, like, if you're a triathlete and you're a top level triathlete, like there's a certain time range that you're inside for a triathlete on certain disciplines, up to the age of, like 38, 39 or whatever, you see people peaking in their mid 30s. And then over 40, you don't see that so much anymore. You can see people slow down in athletic sports and running and swimming and things like that. But I do wonder if we really see that so much in freediving. Maybe we don't have a big enough sample size, but I see so many divers out there who are in their 50s who are diving 100 meters or close to 100 meters. So, and like the gentleman that we just discussed, who is approaching world record territory, and he's no spring chicken. So I would love to hear what people think out there, if they think it's a valid thing or if they think it's kind of a pointless thing in freediving. Get in touch.
Then we had 2 Swedish mini comps. So it seems to me also that Sweden is doing something similar to what we're doing in Australia with having these regular comps. They've got this like morning series going on where they're holding comps like really early in the morning before work. But anyway, so the first comp was the Ada Angered May mini competition on the 14th of May. Right, so this was held in, is it Gothenburg in Sweden?
I think in Swedish it's actually Göteborg, but I think in English they call it Gothenburg. So this spelling here would be the Swedish spelling, but there's the English name as well, Gothenburg.
Pool comp for all 4 disciplines, and Hans Fogelberg broke the Swedish national record in dynamic monofin, 249 meters. That's huge. And Valdemar Karlsson broke the Swedish national record for statics with a 9-minute 28-second breath hold. And so just listen to this little bit. So Rami Bladlev coached Valdemar for this national record by Valdemar. And then so Rami previously held the Swedish record for statics. And then someone said to Rami, how long are you going to let Valdemar hold the record for? And Rami, being the guy he is, goes, less than 24 hours. So there was a competition literally the next day in a different city. You might have to help me with this one, Donny. And Rami sent me a video of him saying the pronunciation of this one. But anyway.
This begins with an L. I think it might be Linköping.
Okay. Yeah. Varapnia. So 15th of May, so like the next day, Rami drove to this city to compete in this competition. And he broke both the continental record and the national record with a 9-minute 39-second static. So that is super.
So poor guy only had his record for less than 24 hours.
They're actually training buddies, so I think that's so awesome. Yeah, really good sportsmanship. Yeah. And you actually interviewed Rami last night on the Freedive Cafe. So when can we expect that?
Yeah, we'll just calm down. I know that you are in love with Rami and you can't wait to hear him and see him, and you've been demanding the video files from the interview last night.
Oh my God, that is not true. I'm impressed. True. No, that is not true.
So true.
Rami, that's not true.
The guy, he's got
oh my God, he's married. Yes, exactly.
I know. Give him a break. Yeah. He told me to say, can you please stop contacting him every minute of the day? No, I'm only messing, of course. I had a great chat with Rami. He's a lot of fun, and he had sent me a few videos actually in private, which a couple of videos of him training, and I'm not going to share those videos, but he did send me one video of him having an LMC, like a really really full-on LMC, and he put some music to it as well, so it was quite funny. And I said, okay, obviously we're not gonna
share
put that out or whatever. Yeah. But I did get a message from him today. First of all, Rami signed up to be a Patreon supporter. I discovered this morning, so thank you so much, Rami. That's amazing. Can't do this without Patreon supporters. And he also sent me the video, and he said you can share it to the Patreon supporters. So if you're a Patreon supporter, by the time you hear this. Hear this episode of the News Dispatch, you can go to patreon.com/freedivecafe and see Rami having a pretty full-on LMC, of course, with safety at hand, and all for the cause of keeping freediving entertainment light and fun.
He gets his wife to coach him sometimes to safety him.
Yeah. Did you see did he send you the video with his daughter looking over him?
No,
but his wife is but his wife is behind the camera, so it looks like the daughter is basically doing his coaching, but the wife is right there. But it's very, very cute. Yeah.
Cool.
Commando.
Awesome. Commando Aquatic Warriors Pool Freediving Comp on the 15th of May as well. This was held in Jakarta in Indonesia. All 4 disciplines. Congrats to Safia Abadi, who broke the static national record for Indonesia in 5 minutes and 34 seconds. Cool. So the next comp, this is a bit of a different and interesting one. So it's another Cmas competition. And thank you to, was it Bizzo that first reached out to us? Yep. So vertical green, as the name suggests, the water is quite green. It was held in Southern California. Yep, so the waters are cold and green. Water temp ranges from 16 degrees at the surface to 11 to 12 degrees at depth. So that makes it quite a good place to train for thermocline.
This was held at Redondo Beach,
Southern California. And it was the first US Freediving Federation Cmas sanctioned depth competition in California. And they actually had financial assistance to fund this comp through GoFundMe. And it was invitational only, so cold water experienced divers. They had 14 athletes just from US compete. And the event was live streamed so spectators could watch it. So this is it's pretty cold, 11 degrees. It's pretty cold. The deepest dives were for women. She was wearing a 7 millimeter wetsuit and dove 45 meters. And for the men, CNF dove 53 meters. Also during
Respect.
Hell yeah. I wouldn't be diving. They ran the first national judge course for CMAS in the US during the competition days. And Bizzo and the guys that contacted us, thank you, they said that California diving is growing and the US is primed and ready for the upcoming years of competition. And we'll see emerging freedivers using these local competitions as stepping stones for securing their places at World Champs for AIDA and CMAS. And I saw this week that the US have announced their national team for CMAS Pool Worlds. There's 3 of them.
Yeah, this is important in the States. It's such a huge country, but relatively difficult to find depth there and temperate water or even warm water. Outside of Hawaii, it's not so easy. So having a few extra platforms for athletes locally to compete so that they can get their feet wet, excuse the pun, so that they can use that as a springboard to move on to other competitions is really important.
The AIDA Freediving World Cup. So we had 2 World Series Cup events, the first of both this month. So the Freediving World Cup, 16th to 23rd of May, held in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. Maximum depth of 140 meters and a world record status event. I spoke to one of the athletes, Jennifer Wendland from Germany, and she said conditions weren't the best. Diving was in the afternoon and it was quite wavy, but athletes were just, making the best of the situation that they had. One really positive thing coming out of this competition was that it was a 6-day competition. There were no blackouts during the whole event, and safety divers didn't have to respond to a single incident. So I think it's pretty incredible, really, for a depth competition.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I wanted to also congratulate Jennifer Vandland, who's been on the Freedive Cafe podcast not too long ago. With 100-meter dive and
amazing.
Loic Vouillement, whatever his name is,
from Switzerland,
for representing Switzerland, who reached 100 meters. And Loic, I've been watching him over the last few years, and he's also got a very interesting past. I know he was a Zen monk at one point, something like that, and
wow,
he's brought his Zen monkishness into his freediving training, and looks like it's paying off quite nicely in Sharm el-Sheikh right now.
Yeah,
we should talk to him.
100-meter club now. There were so many national records and continental records broken at this competition. We definitely don't have time to go through them all.
No, we can't do this. It looks like, I feel like I'm on acid looking at this, because you've put every single one in a different color. It's,
Yep. And I have to give thanks to my training buddy Lee for this, because he was my research assistant this week. Because when they put out the start list, it tells you the nationality of the athlete and if they're going for a national record. But with the results, they don't tell you the nationality, and they don't always put in the comments whether it was a national record. So we were doing this comparison thing. So, yeah, thanks, Lee. But, yeah, so many records. Just want to give, I guess, a special shout-out to Suleiman Toktamov from Kazakhstan and Omar Al-Gailani from Oman, who both broke the national records in all 4 disciplines for their country. That is an awesome achievement.
Yeah, and Matti Eronen from Finland got a national record for Finland.
So the AIDA Freediving World Cup, not to be confused with the series, with the Freediving World Series, Freediving World Cup, was a very successful event.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to taking part in the August edition of that one. It just, now seeing everything looks so well organized and everyone looks like they're having such a nice time, and so chilled out, no safety issues, things like that. And then we come on to the AIDA Caribbean Cup, which may not have been such a awesome event as they would have liked it to have been. Tell us about that. Well, you give us the basic information, and then I'll give the juicy gossip.
Cool. So basic information, 18th to 24th of May. It's the first event in the AIDA Freediving World Series and the 9th edition of the Caribbean Cup. Held in Roatan, Honduras, hosted by Roatan Freediving School and Training Center. Maximum depth of 140 meters and also a world record status event. They had 36 competitors. Also a lot of national records and continental records. Just to name a few, so Tory George from the US broke a couple of records. I think his final free immersion dive was 103 meters. So broke the continental and national record for free immersion. Also, we had, so Donny, you might want to pronounce this, but Lin Lan Lien for Taiwan broke the national record. Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. Free immersion, 59 meters. We also had Ricardo Montans. He broke a couple of national records, 96 meters for constant weight for Argentina, free immersion, 98 meters. Day 1 and day 6 were probably the most records broken. Day 6 we had, Ricardo Montans, Pepe Salcido from Mexico, Lin Lan Lien from Taiwan, also Min Chun Huang from Taiwan, and Nanafat Sirazon from Thailand also all broke national records. Other news from the competition. So Arnaud Girol from France, he was going for a world record in bifins on the first day of the event in bifins, 119 meters, but he got red carded for surface protocol. Also, Alessia Zucchini was going for the women's constant weight world record with 119 meters as well, but she got a red card for surface protocol as she didn't take off her goggles. I guess she's used to the Cmas protocols. Then on day 3, Alessia again went for the constant weight world record, 119 meters, but so this is coming from a post from Alessia, she suffered some narcosis, which made her dive time 40 seconds longer than normal. And she had an underwater blackout around 3 meters from the surface. So she tugged the line for the safety to come. But just suffered a blackout and then came to quite quickly at the surface. But quite disappointing for Alessia. And then she shared quite an open and honest post on Instagram after this, saying that she'd, upon some reflection and receiving advice from friends and family, she decided to take a step back and to complete a dive of a lesser depth in constant weight. So she's on day 5 successfully completed a 111 meter constant weight dive.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good that she took that step back. I mean, at some point you have to maybe just admit that you're not quite ready for that dive at that time. But I know the conditions were challenging at the competition. Yeah, there are a lot of records. We have a list of records here that just goes on from this competition. We'll put them on the show notes, or I'll find a way to link to them on the show notes so that you can really go and check out and see whose name is there, or if your own name is there, or whatever. I do want to add a few extra words about this competition, though. Obviously, at the start of the episode today, we discussed that we have this like huge mess up with the Taiwan name and everything at this competition. So already, I mean, that's not a good thing to have happen, because the thing I don't like about this, Jordy, is it's not so much about the Taiwanese. Okay, it's really sad for the Taiwanese, but it's every time this happens, to a certain extent, it draws attention away from the other athletes. And everyone else has gone there from all over the world and spent their fortunes to be able to compete. And then this issue comes up. And for a lot of people, they don't really understand it. So it must be really annoying for them to have the attention drawn away from them for this topic that maybe they don't really appreciate on the same kind of level that I do, being here in Taiwan. So, I feel really sorry for them for that. I really wish it wasn't like that. I've been talking to a couple of people who have been present at the competition, not just Lin Lan and Xiaoming, but a couple of other people as well who've been giving me some information about what's going on at the competition. There was apparently, allegedly, is that what you say when you're doing things like this? Allegedly, there was a lot of bad water conditions. A lot of sessions were canceled due to the current, which obviously you can't change the current, but there was some disappointment that the organizers must have known that the current would be stronger at this time because it was full moon. This is what I'm hearing. There's the results were posted incorrectly. There was problems with the start lists and the time on the dive line, people not getting enough time, people being rushed between their dives, or the countdown being done incorrectly. Issues with the use of group recalls by the safeties, rules changing on that, rules changing concerning the mandatory use of the scooter safety for dives deeper than 80 meters. In the last minute or in the middle of the competition, changing the protocols that have been used in training by the athletes for, sometimes several weeks. So I understand that we all understand that there's always going to be mistakes in a complicated setup like a freediving platform and a freediving competition, but we have to admit that there's a real disconnect between the aim to put on a professional sporting competition and what is happening on the back end, whether it's organizers or judges or athletes. There's still a long way to go with ensuring that these competitions can run smoothly and without the kind of reports that I'm getting on this. And that's all.
I'm disappointed. I thought it was going to be juicier.
Okay, we're coming to the
the pointy end
session.
Yeah.
The pointy end.
The pointy end.
I think we had the pointy end. I think we've moved beyond the pointy end and coming to the, hopefully
it's like an anticlimax now.
You turn the boat around and the boat is heading back to shore.
I really hate that I used the word climax when you talked about what you talked about earlier. But anyway.
What did I talk about?
Nothing. I don't want to talk about it.
All right. I didn't notice that. I'm going to look forward to that when I listen back to the edit.
Okay, cool. So then we also had from the 21st to the 22nd of May, an AIDA national record attempt for India. So this involved Mario Fernandez, and he was doing depth dives in Israel, with a maximum depth of 50 meters. And he broke the national record for free immersion, 40 meters for India. So in Israel, but nationality India. Free immersion national record 40 meters and constant weight national record 45 meters. Congrats to Mario. It's just something a little bit different.
Congratulations, Mario.
Yeah, we haven't had a national record attempt event included yet. And then the last event that I'm going to talk about for May is the Ariel Ada Morning Series 4, held on the 24th of May. This was a pool competition held in Stockholm in Sweden. 4 pool disciplines, but a limited number of starts in a 25-meter pool. And Dean Chelch of the United Kingdom broke the national record for DNF with a 187-meter dive. And Dean smashed the previous national record of 176 meters, which was set in 2015. So that's pretty
I saw the video
impressive
of that dive. And
yeah, me too.
I have to say, like, his technique is just so wonderful to watch. He just moves through the water. It doesn't really seem to be pulling that hard or kicking that hard, but just moves so smoothly. I'm completely in awe of no-fins divers like this.
So Dean actually is a depth diver, but when COVID happened, he sort of decided that, well, you know, I'm limited with depth diving. I'm going to learn how to train pool properly. So he's only really been training pool for a couple of years. And yeah, 187 meter DNF. Not bad. All right, so we're up to our PB shout out. Donny, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I was just thinking who to put on here, and I wanted to shout, because we didn't mention that many names from the Freediving World Cup, I wanted to give a shout out to Alex. I'm not sure if it's Linas or Yinas, as per Spanish pronunciations, but I don't know Alex very well. I know that he's been in the freediving scene for quite a long time. He has apparently a bit of an interesting background. I'm interested to interview him for the Freedive Cafe. But yeah, the guy did like 70 meters no fins in the competition, and 70 meters is huge. So Alex this is only his second ever competition, although he's been in the scene for a long time. Second ever competition, 70 meters no fins, absolutely gargantuan dive for anyone. There's not many people who dive 70 meters no fins. So congratulations to Alex.
And my PB shout out, so we didn't actually mention this competition, but following the Freediving World Cup, like the actual World Cup event, they held a mini competition. And my PB shout out goes to Kate Sadurska from Ukraine. So she broke the national record for free immersion with an 84-meter dive. This is really cool. So Kate was a safety diver for the Freediving World Cup event, and she went there with a previous PB of 63 meters, and she's come away with an 84-meter dive, which is an incredible progression. And the national record was previously held by freediving queen Natalia Zharkova. It was 82 meters previously. So yeah, congrats, Kate.
And Alex is, I was just chatting with him. We might meet in Dahab, obviously, a whole bunch. I'm looking forward to going to Dahab because I'm going to get to meet a lot of these people in person. I've got a couple of new microphones that I can do podcasts with two people in the same place at the same time. So really looking forward to that. Look out for a new style of Freedive Cafe interviews and other related content. Freediving, people talking, me probably making an ass of myself, but that's okay.
So still to come this month, but as we're recording now, it's happening later. We can report
Tomorrow.
On next month.
So happening tomorrow.
Yeah. There's quite a few comps tomorrow and the next day. So the ADA Swiss Indoors Lausanne 2022, 28th of May. Then there's a dynamic no fins competition being held in Montreal, Canada on the 28th of May. We also have the Ada Ionian Sea Depth Competition in Greece, 28th to 29th of May. The Lakes Challenge in Imotski, Croatia, 28th to 29th of May. This is kind of cool. It's a mixed competition. So they'll have 4 depth disciplines plus statics. So then we also have the Ada Panglao Depth Games in the Philippines, 28th to 29th of May. And finally, Ada Freediving Indoor Cup 2022 in Tateyama, Japan, 29th of May. So lots of late competitions this month. But yeah, we'll report on them next month.
Yeah, so there's like all of those competitions literally in the next couple of days. And then we have to add them on to the June competitions.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, of course, so we got the big, got big comps in June.
Yep. Yeah. So our focus is going to be obviously the 2 Pool World Championships. Cmas is first, 10 to 16th of June in Belgrade. They have 26 countries registered so far and 98 athletes. And then the Ada Pool World Champs will follow from the 18th to the 24th of June in Bulgaria. Interestingly, Amber told me this week that for the Ada Pool World Champs, DNF will be in a 50-metre pool configuration this year. Normally it's 25 metre, so same as Cmas.
Let's wrap this up.
We're here.
Well, thank you so much, Jordy, for providing all of the information for the competitions this month and all the little tidbits. Really enjoy having these sessions with you. This 2.5-hour session so far that I'll have to edit down into about an hour.
An hour.
But it was awesome, and I'm looking forward to the next one and what happens in. So yeah, the next one I'll be in Dahab, so that will be another experience. Also trying to get the logistics of that and hope that the internet is working properly and stuff like that.
It's going to be role reversal instead of like you're always like, Jordy, your internet's shit, like fix it. I'll be like, Donny, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm looking into that, how the best way to ensure getting decent internet is there. But obviously, if you can't do it in Australia, it's can't be expected in Dahab either. We're just kind of spoiled here in Taiwan, I think, for our data rates and stuff like that.
Yeah, just want to remind all our listeners that if you'd like to share anything freediving related with us, results of competitions, new products, someone's creating freediving related products, or to give yourself or someone else a PB shout out, please email us at news@freediveandthrive.com. So that's it for the month of May, and we've got a really exciting month in June coming up.
All right, Jordy, thank you so much again for joining me. Have a lovely rest of your evening over there in Australia. Enjoy your wine, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Donny. Talk to you next month.